Hey, welcome everyone to Internjunction, and I think everyone is well and good. And this is our fourth class. ये हमारा fourth class है. And previous days we have discussed the basics of Python, and whatever we have done, you can watch for the previous 3 days. And this is our fourth class, obviously. So now we have just completed like 2 to 3% of this Python. Right now we are just launched in the fourth class. Okay, so this is about Python variables. तो आज हम क्या डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं और क्या डिस्कस करेंगे ये हम आने वाले स्लाइड्स में तो देखेंगे ही. और बात ऐसा है कि मैंने जो प्लान किया है वो ऐसे किया है कि इसका जो भी डेमो है, इसका जो भी रिटन पोर्शंस है, those will be available on my ppt. You can check, but whatever I will be doing, I will be doing in the VS Code. Okay, so VS Code में हम कोड करेंगे. We will do the coding portions in VS Code, and as well as कुछ समझने की चीज़ होगा तो वो हम हमारे पीपीटी पे आके समझेंगे. ठीक है, तो बिना देरी करते हुए let's get started about our class, right? So let's go to there. ओके, सो जैसे मैंने आपको बता दिया है कि आज का जो टॉपिक है वो है पाइथन का वेरिएबल के बारे में. ठीक है, दिस इज ऑल अबाउट टुडेज क्लास पाइथन वेरिएबल. सो व्हाट इज अ वेरिएबल? एवरीथिंग इज रिटन अंडर दिस पीपीटी स्निपेट. बट जिस लोगों को समझ में नहीं आता है कि वेरिएबल क्या होता है, कि समझ लो ये तुम्हारे स्कूल बैग है. सपोज दिस इज योर बैग एंड देयर आर सम कॉपीज इन इट. सो दिस इज व्हाट copies. So what you do whenever you go to your school, you have to carry those bags. And what these bags contain? The bags contain some copies, right? तो ये बैग कॉपी कंटेंट करता है. अब इसी को समझ लो वेरिएबल की तरह. ये जो बैग है ये है हमारे वेरिएबल which hold some value. Okay, so variable hold some value. What is value? These copies are the value. Okay, so you can relate it like this. We have our computer, right? So in this computer or in this laptop, we have some memory segment to store the memory. Right? Now, whatever we are using, we are storing this in a memory, or better, in a sequential memory location. So to store some values under our memory, we have to store it under a container, and this container is known as variable. So you can learn or you can understand by the term itself variable. That means the values what you are storing may vary time to time. मतलब टाइम के हिसाब से इसके अंदर जो भी स्टोर हो रहा है वो हम चेंज कर सकते हैं. राइट, सो देयर आर टू थिंग्स. वन, स्टैटिक, right, and one is variable. So those variable whose value is not changing with the time is called static variable, and those variable whose value got changed by the time is called a dynamic variable. right? तो आने वाले सेशन में हम सीखेंगे कि पाइथन के अंदर कैसे स्टैटिक वेरिएबल और डायनामिक वेरिएबल यूज होता है. ठीक है, तो ये लिखा हुआ है कि सिंस पाइथन इज एन इन्फर लैंग्वेज. इन्फर मीन्स दिस इज अ इन्फरेंशियल, मतलब इसको पहले से ही रेफरेंस इसमें इनपुट दिया हुआ है. ठीक है, सो द इनपुट हैज ऑलरेडी गिवन इन द पाइथन. व्हाट इज द इनपुट? दैट whenever we have to declare a variable, we must declare a type of this variable. But Python is smart enough. That means we need not to declare the type of any variable. Suppose हम अगर C और C++ या Java में कोई वेरिएबल को डिक्लेयर कर रहे होते हैं तो कैसे करते हैं? int a equal to 10. Suppose this is an integer number. I think everybody knows what is an integer number, right? So this a is called a variable, and this int is called the type of that particular variable, and you are assigning the value. So 10 is the value of this particular variable. Now in Python, how we write? We write simply a equal to 10. That means our Python code is smart enough to understand by itself that okay, whenever you are writing 10, that means it is a integer value. Got it? Up to this, I think everything is clear to you, right? So let's move to the next portion. So we have something, some portions. First, we will learn how to create a variable. Second, we will see how to cast a variable. What is a cast? Cast means suppose this is one man, okay, and he has to go for an acting. So क्या ये सेम अटायर में सेम कपड़े पहन के एक्टिंग कर के वापस आ जाए, ऐसे हो सकता है क्या? नहीं होता है ना ऐसा. क्या होता है कि जब भी ये एक्टिंग करने जा रहा है तो ये अपने मेकअप कर रहा है, ये अपने का जो कपड़ा है उसको चेंज कर रहा है, ठीक है. तो ये अपने जो टोटल अटायर है उसको चेंज कर रहा है एंड देन ही इज गोइंग फॉर द एक्टिंग. So that means casting is when we are changing one variable to another type of variable. When we are changing the type of a particular variable is known as casting of a variable. Okay, so we will see that and get the type. How can we get the type? If I have some variable, suppose a, and you don't know what is the type of this variable, so what can we do in that case? And whether our Python variable is case sensitive or not, we will see in the code snippet. And let's move towards the VS Code. Okay guys, so we have launched our VS Code and you can see whatever we are going to do. I have already created the comments and I have already told you what is a comment, and you can see the best example of creating some comments. So here we are going to create our variables. So how can we create our variables? Suppose I am writing a equal to 10. That means this 10 is a value and a is a variable. So whenever I want to print this a always give me the output, and you can see 10 is coming. Okay, now if instead of this I write b equal to Internjunction. So Internjunction is not an integer value, rather it is a string value, right? So there are different types of variables. Okay, first integer, second float, third string type variable, and fourth is a Boolean, that means true and false. These are the types of our variables. So this is a string type. So if I get want to print this value, I'm just writing the variable, okay, the container name under this print function. So if I hit the run button, you can see 10 and Internjunction is coming. Good. Now similarly I have different values like c equal to what I told you, true. Okay, so always remember one thing, that in the case of true and false, we need not to write it under a quotation. Okay, because this is a Boolean values. So whenever you are writing true or you are writing false, suppose false, false, we need not to write it under any quotation marks. So if I write print or c, okay, in the next line, sorry. So you can see whenever I run this code, this false is coming. Okay, and yeah, obviously if I say it as a floating value, that means 10.99. okay, and if I go to print these values, print of d, okay, so you can see boom, this is coming like 10.99, false, Internjunction, and 10, everything is coming. So this is a way how you can create your variable. Okay, now what I means about casting. Casting means, suppose now I have the reference of a, b, c, and d. Now I want to change this integer value of a, that means the 10 value, into a string. So what can I do? I can write a equal to string str of a. That means my 10 value is now under the string function. And what does the string function do? String function str actually turns anything into string. Okay, so my a will be a string now. So whenever I am going to print this a, you can see there is no difference between 10 and 10, right? But how can we know? We have another function called the type function. Print the type of a. Let's give another name to it. Okay, so that will not create the problems. Okay, so let's say it e, right? So if I say it e and I just want to print the e, okay, and I'm just checking the type of the e. Now if I hit run, you can see that class is string. Okay guys, so whenever, now it is visible to you, I think. Okay, so class is string, so that means my e is now turned into a string. So this is called a casting. Okay, this is called a casting. So we can change any variable to another variable. Okay, another type of variable, but there is a chart. Okay, there is a chart, means there is a restrictions what you can turn into another variable and what not, right? So suppose I want to turn a string value, that means suppose I want to change this string, that means the b, into an integer. Is that possible? Can you just change one string value to an integer or a floating value? Like, is this possible? No, this is not possible, right? So whenever we are going to change the type of, like, f equal to, now I want to int is for integer function, and I am just changing the type of what? B, because under the b value interjunction is there, and this is a what? This is a string. So if I print this f, you can see, yeah, so you can see that it is throwing me an error. What is the error? That value error. Why value error? Because interjunction doesn't have any integer base. Okay, so for your better understanding, I suggest you to create a chart that is integer, float, string and boolean, bool, and write the similar thing: integer, float, string and bool. And this is my guarantee, you can never find anything like this in any website or anywhere, right? So we can change one integer into an integer, one float into the float, one string into the string, and bool into the bool, because we can easily change, we can easily replicate the type, right? But if I have any integer value, suppose I have 10, can I change to 10.0? Yes, this is possible. Can I change this 10 into this, a string? Yeah, this is possible. Can I change this 10 into bool? Yes. Always remember one thing, that 0 denotes for false and 1 or any integer is denotes for true, any integer. So suppose we have anything, we can change it into the bool, right? So if we have float, suppose we have 10.5, so can we change it into 10 or something? Let's just check it out. So suppose I have this d value. Okay, suppose I have this d value, so I'm just doing this f equal to int of d, and I'm checking whether it is running or not, and you can see that yes, it is running. It is not giving me any error. This is giving me only 10. So that means any value, okay, if this is a float value, we can change this into a integer number. Can we change any float to any string? Yes, we can change this into a string. one sec, this comes into this line. Okay, so we can change it into a string. Okay, so can we change into a float to bool? Yes, obviously, any value that is true but 0 is false. So can I change any string into integer? There is a restriction that if the string is something like any number, then we can change it into any integer, or if this is any float, then we can change it into float. But if there is any letter, English letter or any letter, we cannot change it into either integer or float. So this is partially correct, partially, and this is also partially right. Now any string gives you a true value, that is bool. So can we change any bool value into integer? Yes, the true is 1 and false is 0, so we can change any bool into integer. So let's find out, can we change any bool into float? Let's check it out. So suppose I have this c equal to false, as you can see. Okay, c equal to false. Now I want to change the type of c, and what I want to make it as a float. So can it be possible? You can see 0.0, that means float is possible. Can I make it into a string? Just find it out. Yes, we can make it as a string, that is a false. Okay, so that means we can change any bool into a float. Okay, into a float as well as a string. So this is our complete chart of the casting. This actually tells you from which variable you can change to another variable. Actually, you can change everything to everything, but there is a restriction in the case of string. Okay, so we have completed about the casting and how to get the type. So I have already told you. Let's see. So how can we get the type? Suppose I have written that like ABC equal to, suppose, intern. Now I don't know, or I just forget what is the type of this particular value. Okay, so what I say, print. Then under this print, what you want to check the type. So type of A, B and C. So if you just do this, you can see this is a string. Okay, so let me just comment it out. So for the multiple line comment, we use what? 3 quotation before and after. So you can see up to this portion, it is not our needed portion right now. So get the type. So this is intern. So any value, suppose, okay, suppose under this ABC, okay, let's not change the values, rather change this in here. Suppose like 10, and if I want to get the values, you can see. Okay, so let's cross it. Okay, or something like this. Okay, now let's check. This is a integer value, right? So this is an integer value. So this gives you, so suppose I give a quotation before and after this 10. Now this 10 gets changed into the string, and you can see, boom, class is a string. Okay, got it? Okay, so I think up to this is clear. So now, whether it is a case sensitive language or not, how we can see? Suppose I have like A, B and C equal to 10, and suppose I have A, B, C equal to 20. So if I print what? Print ABC and print so print A, B and C. Oh, so sorry, it's like this. So are they different? So how can I find? Let's check it out. Yes, they are different. You can see. Okay, they are different. Okay, so that means Python is a case sensitive language. If you write any variable into lowercase and if you write the same variable in the uppercase, that both are different. Got it? So Python is a case sensitive language. So always make sure that your case is sensitive. Okay. Yeah. So up to this, everything is clear. Now there are some rules that the variable name must begin with a letter or underscore. Okay. The variable name cannot begin with a number. Something like you can write underscore ABC. This is a valid. You can write A underscore B underscore C. That is also valid. But you cannot begin with a number. Suppose you write 1 ABC. No, this is not valid. Suppose you write 2A equal to 5. No, this is not valid. Okay, you cannot begin with a number. So you can only include the alphanumeric character and underscore. That is, you can write like this: underscore A B C 9. This is correct. Or you can see A underscore B underscore C underscore 9. This is also correct. Okay. Fourth point is, this is a case sensitive. I have already discussed with you. And fifth point is that variable name cannot be any Python reserved keyword. So Python has some keywords. Keywords mean what? Keywords are those words which are reserved in the Python library. That means the words which are in used, like we use the print function, right, for the printing of any statements. So we cannot take it as a variable like print equal to 5. No, we can't do that. Why? Because print is a keyword, right? Print has separate work in Python. So we cannot use this reserve keyword as a variable name. Let's find it out. So if I say variable name, right? So ABC equal to 5, this is valid. Okay. If I say A underscore B underscore C equal to 6, this is valid. If I say underscore ABC equal to 7, suppose, this is valid. Okay. If I say like 9 ABC equal to 90, you can see there is a red mark. Okay. So we can't do this. Okay. Suppose I am writing A underscore 9 underscore B underscore C equal to 10. This is valid. There is no problem. You can take it. Okay. Suppose I write A underscore 9 B C equal to 10. This is also valid. Right? So everything is valid, but the number is not valid. Okay. Now, if I say like if equal to 75 or 78, is this valid? If I go to print if, you can see there is an error, fast error here. Okay. If I obsolete this, you can see if equal to 78, syntax error. Why? Because if is a reserved keyword, we can't use it, right? So there are some certain boundaries to declare these variable names, and I hope everything is clear up to this. Okay. Now there are certain case. Okay, there are 3 case in the Python. Like first one is the camel case. What is a camel case? I am not doing it in the like VS Code because this is just only for the understanding. What is a camel case? Camel case is suppose in each word or anything in the middle of the variable name you have any capital letter. Suppose name of student, so name of O is capital in the middle of the thing, and S is capital in the middle of the line. Okay, so this is a camel case. Suppose in a shape of camel, what we know that it is their head and coming like this, and then something like this peak. Okay, so in the middle you have uppercase. Okay, this is a certain joke, but yeah, the concept is like this. What is a Pascal? Pascal is similar to the camel case, but what happens? Every beginning of the letter is like name of the student. If I write N-A-M-E, then O and F, then again S-T-U-D-E-N-T, then it is something like Pascal case. And what is a snake case? Snake case is something which is separated by underscore. What I have written like A underscore B underscore C. This is called a snake case. Okay, so these are the style. These are different style of declaring different cases as a variable name. Okay, nothing to thinking a lot of things in the mind. Okay, this is some basic stuff. Okay. Now, what is a multiple assignments of values? Look, what you can do, you can assign single value to multiple variables. Like single value is, suppose I have 5. So I can put this 5 under this variable. I can put this 5 under B variable. I can even put this 5 under C variable. So simple. So I can put any variable like A equal to B equal to C equal to 5. That means A is belong to 5, B belongs to 5, C belongs to 5. Everything is belongs to 5. But assigning multiple values to multiple variable, how can we do that? One thing we can do like A equal to 5, B equal to 6 and C equal to 7. Something like this. Or what we can do in a single line, we can declare like A comma B comma C equal to 5 comma 6 comma 7. That means A is corresponding to 5, B is corresponding to 6 and C is corresponding to 7. That means in one line, if you want to assign any variable, we can do it in one line. Just maintain the order how you have written. Don't forget the order. Okay, so what I meant to say, assigning single value to multiple variables. That means if I say A equal to 5, okay, B equal to 5 and C equal to 5. Now I want to print what? A comma B comma C. So if I run this code, okay, let me just comment this out. Okay, so if I run this code, you can see that it is coming 555. Okay, one more thing. Yeah, this is coming 5, 5 and 5. Why? Because A, B and C is containing 5, 5 and 5. Another way is what? Like if I say A equal to B equal to C equal to 6, and now I print this A comma B comma C. So for the first time the value was 5, but for the second time all the values are 6. If I print it individually, how you can print it? Print A, then print B, then print C, and in a single go, how can you do this? Print A, B and C. Got it? So these are the way. So these are the way how you can assign single value into multiple variables. Now if I want to assign multiple values into multiple variables, I can write the same thing, right? A comma B comma C equal to suppose 5 comma 6 comma 7. Now I just print this A comma B comma C. So just remember, this is the first, this is the second print, this is the third print. And now check. This is the first print about the multiple assignment. Okay, so 5, 6 and 7, you can see this is coming 5, 6 and 7. So individually you can also print, like print suppose like C. Let's see what is the value is coming, and you can see that 7 is coming right in the place of C. One more thing, You can also write it like this: print the value of C is comma C. So what is this? This is actually giving the comments under the print. So this is my comment under the print and this is my value. So this is a way to write the value of C is 7. Okay, so this is so simple, assigning multiple values to the multiple variables. I think up to this everything is clear to you guys. So here we will discuss about the scope of a variable. So whenever we are going to discuss about the scope of a variable, this means what is a scope. So before deep diving into it, first let's understand what is a scope. Suppose your father has told you to come home within 7 PM. So ये आपके बाउंडेशन है कि आपको शाम के 7 बजे तक आपको घर पे लौटना है. You cannot abide, you are just abide to do this, right? So this is your scope. आपका स्कोप इतना ही है कि आप सुबह निकले या शाम निकले या दोपहर में निकले, आपको 7 बजे आपको घर में आना है. और अगर पापा आपको ये बोल दे कि बेटा जाओ, मतलब ये तुम्हारे ऊपर है, तुम्हारे मर्जी है, तुम कितने टाइम तुम रहो बाहर, मेरे को कुछ आता जाता नहीं, तुम रहो बाहर रहो. दैट इज अनदर स्कोप. So scope is two types. One is local and one is global. Okay, so this concept you can understand when we are discussing about the Python function, but for now you can say, like, if we just define a function called addition function, suppose like addition function, and we are defining, let's do it in the code, right? So suppose in the function, suppose def add is a function. Okay, so this is the way how you can create a function. So I'm like writing a equal to 5 and b equal to 6, and what we return, we are returning a plus b, these values, and we just print this add function. So whenever we are just doing this add function, you can see this addition is coming 11, right? So let me again comment this out. Okay, so you can see that the value is coming and this is 11. Okay, so what is happening, this 5 and 6 is defining under this function, but if I print outside of this function, print a, what will happen, you can see if this is saying a is not defined. Where is a? This is called a local variable. Why? Because this a and b is defined under this particular function called add. Now whenever you are just printing outside of this function, you see that where is the location of this a? Computer doesn't get it, right? So this is the concept where the global function came. How? Look, suppose I am writing the same thing, okay, same code to this what can I say? Yeah, copy, okay, and then after coming to this, paste, okay, pasting this. Now without defining this a here, what I say, I'm defining a equal to 10. Okay, so now my 10, one a value is under the function and one a value is outside the function. So whenever I am printing this a outside of function, what will happen, you can see, if I print a, you can see, so this is for the fast value 11, is for the previous local variable. Now look very carefully that whenever you are calling this add function, 5 and 6 is added, so 11 is coming. But in the next step, when you are going to print a, the global value is coming. Why? Because this a is outside that particular function, so the scope is all over throughout all the programming. So that means the scope of this particular function is beyond the function, beyond the local function. So that means this is a global variable. Now how can we delete a variable? This is so simple. If I write a equal to 10, suppose, okay, and our global and local variable is complete. Okay, so now we will see how can we delete a function. So suppose I have written over like this, a equal to 10, and suppose I have written print of a. Okay, if I run this, you can see that 10 is coming. Okay, let me just delete and rerun this. So this is coming 10. So what I can do, I can simply write del a. Del a means delete a. So if I delete a, what is giving me? A is not defined, right? Because I have deleted the reference of this a. So where this 10 value resides, right? So there is no option to resides the 10 value under a. So a का कोई reference है ही नहीं, मतलब हमने delete कर दिया. So this is the way how you can delete a variable. So these are all the things which I have discussed under this this like PPT. Okay, and you can see by yourself that this is, we can delete a variable, right? So yeah, I think our variable is complete. Okay, and this is all about the variable. Okay, and this is like a basic stuff. Okay, you must know what is a variable, how many types of variables are there in the Python, how to write a variable, how to declare a variable, what are the restrictions of a variable, and what is local variable, what is global variable, what is the scope of a variable, how to delete a variable, and everything. So we have discussed. So yeah guys, I think this is more than enough for today. And yeah, for your kind information, so this whole session is happening on behalf of Internjunction. So if you want, we have an ongoing internship process. So if you want, you can join. We have 6 domains like ML, data science, web dev, app dev, and Python and Java. You can join us. And yeah, for getting this PPT and your ready-made notes, you can join our Telegram channel and you can see. And yeah, you can just join our channel and I think you will all love it. Okay, so that's up to today, and I think you will be in a good health up to the next class. Just keep practicing and do the things. I will send your homework in my Telegram channel, so don't forget to join our Telegram channel. And here you can see this is the link. Just do join our Telegram channel. Thank you guys.